So Trey, I just published a post on the Finder about this Denver Nuggets, this new action that they got going on. You want to hear about it?
Yes, please. Always want to hear.
So there was this like crazy play where there was like this kind of half screen at half court in the second quarter where Jamal Murray was running this action with Jokic, and Rudy Gobert is like following Jokic out to half court as he's like setting up this screen for Murray. And like nothing comes of the action, but Jokic is like calling for the ball. He's like, give me the ball, give me the ball. And he gets the ball on the 3-point arc, like 30 feet away from the basket, tells Aaron Gordon to clear out the strong side corner, and then turns his back and decides to do a post up from 30 feet away on Rudy Gobert. A post up from 30 feet away. And
shouts to Nick Van Exel.
Yeah, Nick the Quick.
Nick would back him down a good 40 feet. Magic Johnson too. Magic Johnson's the originator, but yes,
backing down the defensive player of the year and being like, you can't stop me. I'm going to back you all the way into the paint. And as soon as Karl Anthony Towns switches or tries to double, Jokic goes up for this like little like fadeaway little jumper, like 4-foot jumper. And then at the last moment,
to Aaron Gordon for the dunk. You remember that play? Yeah. He had a couple of those dump offs, but the crazy one, I think it was more of a like a zip. It looked kind of strange, like because no one normally can throw that pass with accuracy, and he threw it like as if it was a chest pass. Yeah, I remember that play. Yeah, okay. Yep.
So I started looking at some of these clips because Jokic is now, I think, doing this a lot more. Is setting up his post up from the 3-point line, which we traditionally don't think of like a big man setting up outside of the low block. We get a lot of high post actions and such where he's running the offense, but not a back you down post up, traditional post up. And I wanted, you mentioned Magic and Nick the Quick, but if you're Jokic, why are you going to this? It's gotten great results, but why are you suddenly like, oh, this is going to be a plus play for me? I'm going to back this guy down from the 3-point line.
Well, the adjustments that was made, for one, I know they made a shit ton of calls to the league's office about officiating and getting hacked. The Timberwolves were hacking like a motherfucker in the first half. The first 2 games.
Yeah.
Right?
Great adjustment.
Secondly,
Rick Carlisle says great adjustment.
No. Well, I'm just saying. Then they took away the dunker spot the first 2 games from Aaron Gordon, right? With this new adjustment and it was odd because you never fucking post up at the top of the key. He's doing shit like the top or like maybe a few feet away. Not, normally, it's like elbow. It's like in no man's land, 15 feet out, things of that nature. He's posting up from the top, but he turns everyone into watchers. And when you become a watcher, now you give Aaron Gordon the chance to regain his dunker spot back. That's why he was fucking 14 for 14 or 12 for 12 for so long, because he just was able to be 4 feet in from a drop. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he had one nice ass dunk in the second half where he like blew by and he blew by and got and kind of bluffed and made the business decision not to contest it. But yeah, what he's doing now, you can't cheat as hard. You got to respect it, because if you sag off, he's now a threat to pass. But the thing is you got to trust Gobert to hold his on. And then when you send that double, that pass is fucking coming regardless. Yep. So now as I back you in, I'm putting more pressure, and guys have to come up and have to be a little bit more softer on the hug because they were taking away the shooters. But now it's like, all right, if we're all watching, AG's going from behind the guy that's watching. That's so like, okay, he's there. It's like you watching your kid like, oh, they're just on a slide. They ain't doing nothing wrong. They're not going to nothing. And you're like, oh shit. Because for that split second, you've trusted that they would always be there. And that's AG on the dunker spot, because you're like, he's 15, 20. He can't harm me there. And as Jokic is coming, you're not checking anymore. You're more locked in on that. And then that's when he's able to make that pass, because everybody's committed to how much he's doing a threat. And it was a clip that was floating around, which was hilarious. I guess it was Jamal Murray talking about when Jokic had 47 on Gobert, and Gobert's like,
oh yeah,
I don't need any help. And he's like, brother, I have 47. You need help. Like,
I have 47, brother. Yeah.
Like it's a
talking
sick
to Rudy
situation
being like, dude.
because it's like, as a defensive player of the year, sure, you have that pride, but the team has to step in eventually and say, yo, you can't guard this dude individually, and we're going to have to send a double. But when you send a double, you're going to pay. You're going to give up that corner three in Contavious Caldwell-Pope. You're going to give up Michael Porter Jr. Michael Porter Jr. don't care. He's going to shoot it anyway. But certain guys are going to knock it down. Jamal Murray, the AG dunk spot. You know what I mean? The Christian Braun dunk spots. Like those dudes, the Peyton Watson dunk spots. Like, you have to be honest. And you can't be honest with Denver. So that's a hell of an adjustment, whether it was Mike Malone, whether it was the post coach, whether it was just Jokic himself, able to be watched again. Because low block, you can kind of individually guard him.
Watch this, Trey. So here's the play. So here's Jokic. Give it to me. So then
move out the way, go to the dunker.
Yep.
Look, now pause it, Mace. I can't JJ Redick this shit, but you got Cat, who I was talking about as a watcher. He's watching too fucking long. He's not even checking back to see where AG is. You got Ant, who knows that Jokic is not about to make that play because he's athletic, so he'll take away KCP on a lob. You got Null watching Michael Porter Jr. That's still a tough pass, and Jaden McDaniels hugging on Jamal Murray. The dunker spot. Cat, wake the fuck up. What are you doing, Cat?
What do you want him to do here?
Cat has to drop a little lower because it has to be ball me, man. When he goes all the way over, Ant's too far in the middle to like take away.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But he was
so
supposed
Michael
to be
Porter's
flatter.
He's moving towards the 3-point arc, and then KCP slides over into the corner, and I guess Ant is supposed to come over here and rotate over to AG, but comes off a little late. And watch what happens after this. After this goes in, Gobert is yelling. I think he's yelling at,
I got this.
You don't need to rotate.
Wow, I had it.
He basically saying, I had him where I wanted him. Why would you help? Stay home. But also, he should have been flat to the baseline. Ball me, man. You know what I mean? Ball me, man's okay. I'm here. I'm checking. I know where my guy is. And if he comes across the paint, I can check him and get him up out of there and send him back out. But instead, he's like this, just watching, and AG's just creeping right behind. And that's the thing, because again, before we even watched that play, he became a watcher.
Yeah.
And you always want to gamble those type of things when you got enough gravity to pick on a person that doesn't trust his teammate on defense. Because they cheat too far over and they can't recover. And that's what happened. And he watched maybe a lot of things on his mind at that particular time. But when they break down that film session, there's going to be so many brain farts because he lost sight of his guy.
This was kind of one of those games where the Cat, Rudy Gobert, can they exist as a twin tower setup? The questions float right back to the surface, right? Cat was not good. He on both ends of the floor. It was Mother's Day. It was my first Mother's Day without my mom. I get it. It's a tough one for some people. It's a heavy one.
Alone having to play and deliver.
That said, it's going to be right back to square one with the conversation around can Cat and Rudy Gobert coexist at the top, at the highest levels of the game, where now, home court advantage has swung back to Denver's side, where of the next, 3 games, they're going to have home court in 2 of them. And so now they got to win.
Home court hasn't made any influence at all so far in this series.
If the series doesn't start until the home team loses, when will it ever start, basically?
We're
I think it will in game 5. I think they got punched in the mouth. And it wasn't like they took them lightly, but I think that they were just kind of like coming off a high, off of like, I like Mike Malone trying to be cute and say that, don't take don't disrespect the Lakers, and they were a worthy opponent. We had to earn it. They weren't worried. They wasn't worrying about the Lakers. They had the
They
time
let them
off.
get the
They kinda
lead
took
every
it.
single time.
Mhm. And
They
just
came
like
back
the
and
rest
won.
of the world, everybody, I anticipated the Wolves would be a team to lay down and get rolled over. And they took advantage of the moment. The fill-out game is always the one. And then they stole another one. And then they thought like, oh, we got the world to flip, Vegas to flip.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is the Wolves year. You got everybody talking. Ant-Man is the Jordan comparison. Ant-Man is here. Ant-Man is the face of the league. And what he says that next game, man, my bad, guys, my energy just wasn't there. He loosened up. This is still a team learning on the fly how to win with a young leader who's learning how to win on the fly. He's going to be high emotion. He's going to look like Jordan fucking pre 89, where he's making a lot of decisions trying to win a ball game by himself. They're going to let Ant average 40 because other guys have to make shots. The reason why they look good in those first two games because Nall knocking down fucking threes, Jaden McDaniels was knocking down the three. If that don't fall, oh my God. Who cares if Cat have 17 points? Because it don't matter. They got to make threes.
Yeah. We talked about this, Kurt Goldsberry and Brandon Payne on the Finder pod, which you can find on tomthefinder.com. We talked about how the 3-point shot has become too valuable in the sense that if you hit your threes, you're going to win the game. And it's a make or miss league, but even more so now, what's the big difference in, game 3 and 4 in the Knicks series and Pacers? Well, now the Pacers are hitting their shots and the Knicks aren't, or in the same thing in this series. So there's that. There's also, I want to, Maze, if you can we just quickly watch the 8 points in 30 seconds? Because I'd love to go a little Jade Hoy on it, where the 28 things you missed in this, kind of breaking down this film. Because Trey, if you're Jaden McDaniels, you feel sick after this because he inbounds the ball and he just like throws it away. Jamal Murray hits the shot.
This is before halftime, right?
Yeah, it's before halftime.
Good dunk.
Throws it.
Yeah, you got to play to the buzzers out. You got to play to the buzzers out.
In Harlan,
that was a momentum swing. That was a momentum swing. Because look at that.
Ant turns it over.
Look, okay, cool. He dunks it. But the plays, look, Nall. Who's there, Nall? When did you make that play? When did you make that play, Nall?
What's the rush?
When have you ever made that play?
Yeah.
There's no desperation in it. It's not like it's fourth quarter. That was a college play. That was a NCAA. The timeout won't get us at the half court. We need something. Let's get something up in the air. An NBA team? Absolutely not.
We always ran Valpo, which was you throw it into the guy at center court, and then the two wings fly down the floor.
Bryce Drew.
Yeah, Bryce Drew. And then you pass it to the wing, and then he hits the shot. When you got like 2 seconds, is basically all you can do.
Hold that, JJ and LeBron. We know how to break it down too. We got memory.
Yep.
Yeah, but he's never. But no NBA teams making, especially at half. You get a casual throw in. Some guys let the time go out. Some guys just, you know what I mean? That was very careless. You're down 7, 8, or maybe 10. I don't know what put it there. It probably was 10 at the particular point. Long story short, you casually throw a gimme. A gimme. He had the right running motion to get it up. He had more than enough time. You helped him with a running start.
The game was over right there. The game was over right there.
Yeah, it was over because they needed to respond, and then they responded because it's a game of runs. They responded. Anthony Edwards. They was talking about. I heard Jamal Crawford say, "Oh, Ant-Man, he's trying to figure out how to get to the lane. He gets there. Boom, layup. Cool. Comes again. Boom, 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 boom. Gobert. Offensive foul. Moving screen. Another possession. Offensive foul. Moving screen. They score again. Traveling. Gobert. Gone. Game over.
When he pulled the chair out from Gobert, and then Jamal hit him with the C-walk.
Yeah, Jamal's good. He's getting better too. He's getting good, man. Shouts to him.
Yeah. Jamal Crawford is doing an awesome job. And Tim Legler the other night too. These guys are stepping in like for their first time in like real big time playoff action, and they're adding a lot to the broadcast. So next up on the board is going to be Trey. Trey's going to be next to join the broadcast after that breakdown. Denver's now matched up in this series 2-2. And the other one on the other side, the Knicks Pacers are now 2-2, where the Pacers destroyed the Knicks in game 4. They were up by like 43 at one point. I feel like every game up until this point, or maybe last game too, game 3, was an absolute madness for the Knicks. Every game was the little meme, the meme that Wob always tweets out with the girl on the little teacup flying around and just spinning, her head spinning, and it's the Knicks logo on her chest. That's been the Knicks postseason run until now, where the party is shut down, the lights have come on at the bar, and the Knicks are sitting there just like, I don't know what the hell is happening. They lost OG. They've lost Mitchell Robinson. They lost Julius Randle. They've lost Bojan Bogdanovic. They are dropping like flies, and Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart look normal now. They look human.
Back down to earth.
This is what you worry about with Thibs. This is what you worry about. This is, we're going to grind these guys in the regular season and win a bunch of games in the regular season and outwork you and out hustle you. And they're going to play more minutes than everybody else. But you got to pray that they stay healthy, because they are running these guys down to a pulp. And then now OG's grabbing his hammy. He's having a soft tissue injury.
He's not coming back. He's out.
As soon as you saw, I think it was Woj who reported like he's already, looking at game 4 or ruled out for game 5 or something like that. I was like, oh, when they're already ruling people out for 2 games away. Yeah, they're done. They're done.
Yeah, it's done.
So now the Knicks are trying to go back to game 5 at Madison Square Garden. TJ McConnell is now taking the mantle from Jalen Brunson as the star of this series. And this is kind of, this is where the Pacers
has been great. He's been
great.
That's why I had to react how you reacted, because that dude, I never thought I would be talking about fucking TJ McConnell in 2024 in the postseason, which is the guy I've been fighting for the Suns to get for 2 years. I thought he would be a great addition to them. But I will say TJ McConnell, he's been big. And when he's not big, that's when they lose the game. But when he's been big, they win the game. And Halliburton has some things to say, and Jalen Brunson responded with, it's a long series. I like that you said that, Jalen Brunson. But, hey, man, game 5 Tuesday is going to be one of the most intense, stressful games for the city, because their backs are against the wall. They no longer have the gun. And the only player that's missing from the Pacers is Ben Mathurin.
The Pacers have the bodies to do this.
The Pacers have. And Halliburton doesn't have to be perfect. He needs to be 20 points good. And just, they're making shots. All those dudes are making shots now. And it's like, that's not great when Jalen Brunson has to guard a TJ McConnell, and when McConnell's running circles like old Steve Nash and making him use that foot more than he should. It's going to be interesting, though.
Welcome back, Tyrese Halliburton. 6 points in game 1 in the last 3 games, 29.7 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, shooting 55% from the floor, 46% from downtown. He was 7-11 in game 2 from downtown, 6-16 in game 2, and then 4-10 from game 3. Game 4. That's the dude that was running away with an all-NBA place earlier this season. And the hamstring issues, the groin issues, all that I was expecting him to always be playing at 60%. But now, guess what? He's playing better in the entirety of the series than Jalen Brunson. If you look at the numbers, actually, Tyrese Halliburton is outplaying Jalen Brunson in this series. Who would have thought? Who would have thought after game 1? So, Hallie, welcome back.
I think that fall on his back helped him. Everybody was talking about, oh, my back. This is back. shit, he's playing much better now after that fall. You know what I mean? He's talking trash. He's making shots. He's doing these little scoop layups. 3 is falling. He's, doing the air. Let's go. You know what I mean? Like that, it ain't looking good, bro. But I will say, man, I still got faith in this team. I just don't know how much I want to see a very banged up New York Knicks versus the Boston Celtics. I don't know if I want to see that.
Celtics is going to be a real tough situation.
Oh, it'll be a bloodbath. And then, Boston don't already like New York and New York don't like Boston. And if they beat them badly, it's not going to be good.
Yeah, the Nembhard shot was a backbreaker because that was the game that they were trying to win on the road and pretty much end the series, go up 3-0. That Nembhard shot, that Nembhard prayer.
Where he was even like, yo, did I just hit that?
Kind of flung it up, went in.
So, Mace, I'm glad that you brought that up, and I killed Tyrese Halliburton about that. You tossed this man a grenade.
Yeah.
You're the star player. What's up?
Hot potato.
What's up? Tom, how you felt about that? Because I'm although Halliburton had 35, cool. You kept your team in contention. You didn't take the big shot. I don't think I could give him the LeBron pass on that. No pun. Because you're the guy. That means you are
the results, baby.
And you didn't also give him a gift. It wasn't like he was hugging a line, like he was wide open. That dude was like 28 feet out. That's not like a shot where he's like Caitlin Clark and we're like, oh, Nembhard takes that all the time. Like, no. When he made it, lemonade. Everybody was like, made lemonade. Everybody was like, oh, no. Oh. Like, it was one of them. Like, it wasn't great. And I'm like, Halliburton, are you scared to take the shot?
So, but no one cares now. I'm glad you brought that up because we're so oriented to say like, oh, that was destiny. That was like the smart move there, or that was, a great thing. But if that didn't go in, we would be talking about Hallie for a long time.
Oh, we would have killed him.
That.
We would have killed
him. The Knicks came back and killed him.
And the Knicks would have been what, 3-1?
3-0.
3-0. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We're having a different conversation.
Killing him.
We're having a whole different. Oh, what? Oh, he's a fraud. Put the diamond tester on him. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God.
Take his wardrobe away. That's punishment.
I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
that's actually helping him out, bruh. Think about it.
Yeah, I mean, the Thibs thing, Tom, cannot be understated. I mean, we all marveled at Josh Hart playing 46 minutes a game through the playoffs, and that there's a reason we don't do that. There's a reason that you need a bench and you need people to play minutes, and you can't just grind your stars into the ground. And I love Josh Hart's speech about like, this is just a game, and we got people out here working.
That sound good.
12 hours. That's a great PR publicity tour. But at the end of the day, Josh Hart, you can't play 48 minutes every game and expect to win the NBA championship. That's not how it goes.
You can't play 48 and not score 30. Nobody ain't trying to hear that PJ Tucker ass line. You know what I'm saying? Like, he cool.
Look, man.
Listen, he be scoring in 16s and shit, and like, but that's like a New York PJ Tucker line. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, yo, it's a hard head guy.
Rebounding,
he brings it.
Yeah, the rebounding. Yeah,
he's putting up crazy rebound lines.
Hey, but that's what I'm saying. That's a PJ Tucker ass line. 6'4" power forward. That's out here grabbing shit. Like, I'm not impressed. Like, I'm not looking at it like that because, again, Jalen Brunson, the meat is falling off the bone right now from him. Right? He a 6'1" guard scoring fucking 40 points just to keep you close isn't, a godsend. That's a cry for help.
How about this? The Pacers and the Knicks have both played 10 games this postseason. The Pacers top minutes guy, Tyrese Halliburton, has 354 minutes. Okay. 354 minutes.
Is Josh Hart at like 600 minutes?
60 a game. 600 minutes per 10 games or over 10 games. So Halliburton's at 350. Josh Hart is at 441.
Okay. That's
91 minutes, 91 more minutes played in the same number of games. That's 2 extra games worth of basketball that he has played.
That man an IV and an oxygen
in the
tank.
same number of games. So, look, Josh Hart, he's going to say the right things and he's going to play really hard. But at the end of the day, if I want if I could have TJ McConnell right now, who's got fresh legs, who's outrunning everybody and outsmarting everybody, the Knicks just don't have that right now. They're playing 6 guys every night. And when one of them drops, now you got to be like, yo, Jericho Sims, we got to.
Bro, they had Courtney Sims trying to break a press. I turned that shit off so fast. I said, all right, now. Y'all wasting my goddamn time. I ain't even a mother and I felt offended. I just was like, what are we doing?
It's all great, man. It feels like, like a kid who's like really excited about driving 110 miles an hour and feeling like great. And then all it takes is one wheel to fall off. And then suddenly it's not very fun, not very fun anymore. And that's where the Knicks are right now, is that they're like OG Anunoby has been so key to everything that they've done. And he can't walk anymore.
He was having an awesome game before he went out in game 3 too.
But that's the thing, Maze. It's always you pushing right up to the line, right? You're exerting right up to the line. And that's when your hammy pops, or that's when your calf pops, or that's when your whatever meniscus tear, whatever you want. Is you're always pushing the envelope. And then it breaks, right? And so OG, oftentimes this happens is where like a guy is playing amazing, going way above expectation, and then pop, it all changes. So the Knicks are where I think everyone who projected the Knicks and the minutes were worried about is what happens if Jalen, his foot hurts and he's not Jalen anymore? What happens if OG's hamstring pops? What happens if Josh Hart, I don't know, his other wrist?
What if Josh Hart say, I can't do it today?
I can't do it today.
I only got 42 for you, coach.
Hey, Tim's got that man. They got that man reciting Bible verses. You seen that? You remember that? You seen that quote?
No.
That man said, they was like, yo, Josh, you played a 48-minute game. He's like, man, I was just reciting this Bible verse. And, anytime. And I'm like, God damn. Like, you got this man reciting a damn Bible verse when he can't feel like, when he feel like it's just too much. And he can't go no longer.
My Lord works in mysterious ways. Today, I felt like I didn't have it at all. The whole game, I was reciting Isaiah 40:29, which reads, have you not known? Have you not heard? The Lord is everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He does not faint or grow weary. His understanding is unsearchable. He gives power to the faint and strengthens the powerless.
Listen, he played more minutes than that Bible verse. That's crazy.
Unless God is going to start at power forward for the Knicks in game 6 and 7, I think they might need some new strategies. I think they got game 5 though.
That'd be a great adjustment, man. If you can get God added to the roster.
The God to sub in. I got you.
I got you, bro.
Some type of six man.
You've carried me. Now I will carry you.
I got you, Josh. Like you say the Bible verse maybe like the 6th time, and then you start glowing. You get that aura. And he's like, God mode. It's like getting on fire. Like you just start just like going crazy.
NBA
that was that Bible
NBA
verse
God.
right there. That was that Bible
averaged
verse
46 minutes a game until game 4. 46 minutes a game.
Yes. Hey. He's running on fumes out there, bro.
The good news about game 4 was at least they got blown out, so they got to sit everybody.
Yes.
Hey, when the Knicks do their banquet, at the end of the season, he's going to get this award.
Yo,
the GOAT.
The GOAT. Yo, look at this.
With that banquet tray, he's going to be busting tables and doing dishes after.
They're going to have to put a statue up because he might go to the Lord after this series. I mean, this is.
I just looked this up. Brother.
Oh yeah, the Sixers are already like, man, that statue's huge. Trey,
you just go get a ticket. You get to come to the game and sit courtside whenever you feel like you want. The Knicks way. Once a Knick, always a Knick. You don't get your jersey in the rafter. Josh Hart is going to be one of those guys where you're like, there's Josh Hart. He played for the Knicks during this run, and he's going to do like the can panning. He's going to be with his son.
He was never the same after 2024. Yeah. Yo, I just did this. I just looked this up. Stathead.com. First 9 games of the postseason, most minutes played. Since 1977, how many players have played more than Josh Hart's 417?
Probably Mikal Bridges. I can only think of. And maybe AC Green or some shit.
No one.
But AC Green probably wasn't nobody, huh?
The answer is 0. Yeah. Nobody has played more minutes than Josh Hart through 9 games in a postseason.
Is it just Jimmy Butler also under Thibs that's close?
So how about this?
Or did they not make it out of the first round?
Today's episode is brought to you by Nick Van Exel.
Oh.
Okay? Nick Van Exel in 95 with the Lakers played 417 minutes, the same as Josh Hart. So not more than Josh Hart, same number as Josh Hart. That was 30 years ago. Okay. So that was 23-year-old Nick Van Exel playing for
He got 2 mentions on the pod today.
Yeah.
2 mentions on the pod today.
Huge.
Shout out to him.
Nick Van Exel.
Also tied with number 1 on the list, Larry Bird.
There you go, man.
Basketball Jesus himself at 417, 1987. So it's been basically 3 decades since someone played this many minutes. I mean, we can't even say Thibs is rolling back the clock to the early 2000s. This is 90s, 80s basketball.
No, this is what you get when you get a special coach and a special player, Tom, of someone who's quoting Bible verses to run on fumes and someone who is going to deplete his bench to the point where he has no other options. I still think they got game 5 though. The Knicks they're gonna get game 5. I think they got it.
Did they get God? Is God on the team?
Sham God? Just roll
Number 2 on the list since 2011. All right. Number 2 on the list since 2011. It is not Luol Deng. He's actually 6th on the list.
Okay.
Kevin Durant, 3 different times.
Wow.
OKC, 2011, 2013, 2014. Notice which one is not on that list, 2012 when they went to the NBA Finals. So, lesson learned. Don't grind your dudes down to a pulp in the first 2 rounds. You're not going to get very far.
You wouldn't get far.
Tonight, Monday night, we've got 2 more matchups. We got Luka Doncic in the driver's seat 2-1 against OKC. Speaking of OKC, and we also have the Cavs and the Celtics. We saw the Cavs do the whole game 2 punch in the face, hit all your threes. Same thing that the Miami Heat. Is this going to go by way of the Miami Heat series where the Boston Celtics are going to clean up? But just as a update, Jared Allen was taking free throws out at shoot around. I don't think that Donnie was mentioned or Donnie was seen at shoot around. I expect Mitchell to play. Jared Allen might be showing up, Willis Reed style, coming out for game 4. And Kristaps Porzingis doing the Dirk out on the floor for shoot around. I don't think he's playing, but he's close. Trey, what are your thoughts on Celtics Cavs here in game 4?
Wrap it up. Wrap it up. Wrap it up. Celtics in 5.
Yeah.
It's not looking great. Darius Garland, what happened? But whatever it is, I hope that you can fix it in the offseason. But it's not looking great.
No. Yeah, is he just not looking for a shot enough? What's going on with
my ribs? You can have my ribs. Like, it's a lot going on right now with the Cavs. They shocked a lot. They bought JB Bickerstaff some extra years on his contract because if they would have lost to the Magic, his ass was getting canned too. But yeah, it's not looking great. I think they keep Donnie. They move Darius Garland, and they bring in some more pieces to help. But even the Mobley ain't really what we thought he was going to take that next level leap. You know what I'm saying? So
I thought
there's so much room for improvement with this team.
They should be better, is what you're saying. They should be better.
They definitely should be better.
Yeah. And I don't think they're going to do it again, like game 2 against the Celtics.
Also,
Jason Tatum showed up, which was nice.
I can't leave out Karis LeVert. You don't know who. Karis LeVert is like Jeff Green, bro, where you don't know. Jeff Green can have a random ass 40-something point game, and then Jeff Green can have a donut, or he can have 6 points. You have 8. That's Karis LeVert. You don't know what Karis LeVert you're going to get.
Like they need someone other than Donnie to step up, and it could be Karis LeVert, right? He could show up and have 35 in Game 4.
They call
right?
Karis LeVert Ben 10 of NBA Universe. He just turned, and he could be Michael Jordan some game, then he could be Smush Parker, then he could be, you know what I mean? Like he could just be any of those dudes, depending. You never know which one you're going to get.
You can get that, Trey. One guy who's like super high variance, like you never know what you're going to get with that guy, but he can't be your second best scorer, right? Darius Garland needs to be that guy. Evan Mobley needs to be that guy. Be the guy who can be the co-pilot to Donnie Mitchell. And right now, Donnie doesn't have that guy. And no reliable source as a number 2. So the Celtics have Jaylen Brown. They got Jason Tatum. They got Drew Holiday. They got Peyton Pritchard. I mean, Peyton Pritchard could be more reliable as a number 2 scorer on this roster than Darius Garland.
Peyton Pritchard would love to be able to be allowed to shoot over fucking 12 shots.
That's why Tom wants to trade him to Phoenix, man.
Yeah, give him the Phoenix.
Give him the looks, because there's definitely shots available.
How is TJ McConnell not on the Suns? That's a great question, Trey.
He's an Arizona guy. Like, I don't know. I think that's just one of them things of like maybe the price was very high from Indy, or they really just didn't like point guards. I just don't understand it.
Or TJ McConnell's not sexy. Sexiness is important, right?
It's not, sexiness. He's definitely not sexy, but he is the last low-hanging fruit of a pass-first point guard that runs the system. We used to have him and Ish Smith. Ish Smith, another guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, those dudes come in, they do their job, they don't complain about their minutes. They can get you a random 20. Like, if they're disrespected enough. Like, I heard when they weren't guarding TJ McConnell in the garden, bruh, and he was knocking down them threes, I'm like, he's still an NBA player. Like, what we doing? Like, it's not like he's shooting 15%. Like, that dude still can knock it down. He's a point guard. He know how to make free throws. He can shoot a 3. He knows his role. He gonna drive really hard and then pass it off. Like, we don't have them type of guards no more. And the Stephs, the list of guards that have been able to score at a high usage, try to get those pass first guys out of there. And you feel like the makeup of your team is supposed to be score. Well, you still need a facilitator and a second coach on the floor. I would have been a TJ McConnell if I played, because I'm not that thirsty to shoot, and I'm just not also that confident in scoring. Like, I get self-conscious if I took more than 7 shots. There's guys
I know it's crazy to say, but they would be such a better team if TJ McConnell or Prime Ish were on that roster. The Suns.
Prime Ish. So current
Prime-ish, which we just left it because he's not playing right now. He won a championship in his age, 35 seasons. So,
Trey, I am curious to hear you say that you think Donovan Mitchell is going to stay, though, because that is definitely not the consensus out there. Everybody's talking about he's already out the door.
I disagree. I think the idea, everybody was thinking, like, I seen a couple Knicks fans even, like, I mean, somebody asked me about the Knicks and shit, and I'm just like, come on, bruh. Are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, you can't take on a Donovan Mitchell and expect to keep the rest of those guys. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's why I don't think Cat can work there either. Like, I just don't.
Certain guys are just like the Kevin Durant trade. If you want Kevin Durant on your team, you gotta gut your team. If you want LeBron James on your team, you gotta gut your team. You're not gonna get a Donovan Mitchell and say, well, I fleeced him on this one. I gave him 3 first rounds. And I gave him 2, our number 10 and our number 12 guy off the bench. And we were able to keep our solid core. It don't work like that. Them days is over. Like, you know what I mean? The asking price is very high. So, yeah, nobody about to let you just fleece them like that.
Real quick, Shams Charania is reporting that the Detroit Pistons, now armed with the number 5 pick, they were supposed to get the number 1 pick. They are now waiting for Tim Connolly. They were going to make a run for Tim Connolly to lead their basketball ops.
Okay.
And that's why they haven't filled the position. Let's go to quickly the Mavs and Thunder here, and then we'll move on to the Patreon, where we're going to discuss the draft lottery, Bronny James, what the Lakers are going to do with their head coach, all that stuff. in the Patreon. So, look, the Daniel Gafford, PJ Washington acquisition, we've talked about it here before, is just how important that was to the identity of the team. And for the first time, OKC loses this postseason in a game. And it looks like when you talk about PJ and his role as just kind of this like very, he's good at a lot of things, not great at one thing. And that's kind of what you need, a stable contributor who can pop open for a 20, 25, 27-point game. And that's what they got from PJ Washington here. They got Daniel Gafford from the Wizards and PJ Washington from the Charlotte Hornets. They went, your trash is somebody else's treasure. And those two guys in this series, like maybe not for Daniel Gafford in this most recent one, but like, how many teams have made over their roster picking from the scrap heap in a way that the Dallas Mavericks have with PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford? The one I can think of is like
the Nuggets.
The Nuggets with KCP, right? They got KCP
and fucking Reggie Jackson from the Clippers. Like they were about to waive him, and the Suns had a chance to get him. And they were like, nope, come back home. You're from Colorado. We're going to sell you on this whole little thing. But like, that's the thing. You can, no matter how you think somebody's a bum, just because they play on a bad team, the Wizards have pieces. The Hornets have pieces. You know what I mean? All these bottom tier teams. The Spurs have pieces. Although they look like they hate Wemby, Trey Jones could help the Suns.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Like, guys, Keldon Johnson could help a team that needs a wing. Keldon Johnson probably could fucking help the Lakers. Low key. But at the end of the day, it is about being able to be a good GM and go rescue guys. You know what I mean? Because like that's the thing.
Having Luka Doncic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Well, of course you got to have a star, but I'm saying like, that's why people were getting so hyped about a Christian Wood, or they were getting hyped about a Spencer Dinwiddie, but sometimes they can go bad like those deals.
Mm-hmm. I think really what we're talking about here is, as we have our third eye open on this pod, I've got my hat on and so does Maze. I feel like with Illuminati off the air, Kyrie Irving has stopped giving out content.
Direct correlation between Illuminati going away and Kyrie Irving becoming the team first, do everything, glue guard.
No bullshit, just straight hooping.
Yeah. Dude, his strip downs. And I think, in game 3, like he is, as soon as the ball is coming down below somebody's chest, he's stripping that thing out. It's coming out. It's incredible.
Great hands, incredible hands on those, like Andre Iguodala-esque, like Andre always had that swipe down. And like, I remember Kyrie a few years ago had this like really good block rate. And I was like, I don't recall Kyrie Irving getting a bunch of blocks. And then I watched the film, and it's all those swipe downs.
Yeah, it's not a block, technically. That's an interesting little stat keeper nuance right there.
It's sometimes a steal, sometimes a block. And it's like, it doesn't feel like the traditional, rise up and block a dude, but it's just as well. And more often than not, you're going to recover that like it's a recovered block. When Kyrie does that, it's as good of as a steal. A lot of times dudes swat the shit and out to half court or out of bounds, and they preen and they flex, but you're just giving the ball right back to the offense, right? What Kyrie does is he does that swipe, and he's so good at it, and he's always been good at it. But of course, now that he's locked in with this Mavs team, another thing I noticed, when they extended Jason Kidd, who they did not name in the press release, Mark Cuban. There was no Mark Cuban comment. There was not a single thing in the press release or a quote. He said, I think when the deal went down, that he was going to still run basketball ops and all this stuff. And no, it doesn't look like he still's got his courtside seat. But let's move over to the Patreon. The draft lottery happened yesterday, Mother's Day. It was very weird. I think it was befitting of a draft lottery where there was no one really a consensus number one. People don't even know who's going to, not even just who's number one, but the name. We don't even know any of these guys.
Another French guy. Yeah.
I do. I've been saying it all for the past week. It's my dog, Alex, man. Alex Sarr.
I'm saying the average like fan doesn't
Oh,
know.
an average fan. Yeah. They don't know
like,
until
there's no
until
Caitlin
Wednesday.
Clark or Zion or AD.
It's
or,
not Wemby again. It's a different French guy.
Yeah.
So,
this is an 18-year-old that's skilled.
So the Hawks win. Landry Fields is very excited, and they win the lottery. Now it's raised all sorts of questions about what they do with that pick. Are they going to take the pick and move it and try to upgrade for around DeJounte and Trae Young, or Trae Young? What are you going to do with the number one pick is a big question. But I don't even know if anyone wants it. Like if you're going to move that pick, what are you going to get in return? And so a bunch of people have written this, being in the draft lottery room and kind of reporting from what the executives are saying or the chatter around the league, is no one really knows what's going to happen from here. But we do have some news. Bronny James is going to participate in the draft combine, which means he's been medically cleared as of Monday, expected to be medically cleared from the NBA to stay into the NBA draft. And Brian Windhorst on ESPN said, if the Lakers have the opportunity to take him at number 55, they're going to take him, Bronny James. However, I just saw Gavoni and Jeremy Woo. They did their mock draft for ESPN, and Bronny James was not selected in their 1 through 60 mock draft. So, Trey, Bronny James, is he going to get drafted? And who would draft him?
Lakers at 55. Low lift. Commercial draft pick. They might not run a commercial. He might actually get up there if somebody really shake his hand to get the true experience. Lakers at 55.
I can't disagree. The only thing I could say is, does someone try to preempt that and take him and hold him ransom, basically?
Waste of time. Don't get fired trying to be cute. Let them have him at 55.
Mm.
I mean, Tom, if that happened, if what you're suggesting happened, that would 100% be caused by LeBron having discussions, or LeBron's camp having discussions. No one's going to do that without some indication that LeBron would show up.
So here's where Wendy comes in again. Brian Windhorst reporting for ESPN saying Rich Paul is now. What's that?
The wind is blowing. Blow him through. Blow Wendy through on the screen.
Now, why would Tom bring up Brian Windhorst? Why would he do that? Well, because Rich Paul he has talked to Brian Windhorst has gotten a bunch of scoops from Rich Paul and is close with Rich Paul. He's written the LeBron Inc. with Dave McMenamin that outlined the business plan for LeBron James. Of course, we know that Windhorst has as close to an ear to the street as anybody. His ear is touching the pavement. Okay. He's reporting that Rich Paul is now telling teams, look, it's not going to be a package deal. If you draft Bronny, it's not going to be a package deal with LeBron. It's not going to happen. What is that about? I think it's exactly what Trey's talking about, is no one's going to play games and get cute, and you're not going to see the Minnesota Timberwolves with a 40th pick or whatever it is try to draft Bronny and try to get LeBron in a package deal, because now the whole thing is that you're not going to get him. You're not going to get LeBron. LeBron's going to stay in the Lakerland. Now, LeBron has a player option. He has the ability to opt out and make his decision on if he's going to opt in after the draft, which is perfect. He's got all the cards.
All the cards. Okay? So it's forcing the hand. Forcing their hand. Like, oh, okay, y'all want to do them games. Bet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, y'all didn't want to take my threat seriously. Bet.
So I think Trey, I think you're right. I think the Lakers will take him at number 55.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I haven't done the actual analysis, but I know just looking at the names.
It's a low risk.
Low risk? It is super low risk. People are going to say,
it's a super low risk.
The median number of games played in their career for a number 55 pick is 23 games. Shouts to Michael Jordan. 23 games is the median number of games played. It's like 33% of the players who are picked at number 55 don't even play in the league. They don't even make it. So if Bronny never plays, that's just the average.
Bro.
Yeah.
I see the script. JJ is the head coach. Bron signs back for 3 years, whatever ridiculous amount he gets. Bronny at South Bay Lakers, the family going to watch the games.
Yep.
Then we get the call up, I want to play with my son. Bronny's he's proved himself. He's averaging 4 points a game. Bring him up.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get the ticker or whatever it is under first father-son duel in NBA history. And everybody claps and stands. And we look up at the score and the Lakers are down 28. But he did it. He did it, y'all.
I don't even think it's a bad pick if you're look, Bronny he's not an NBA prospect right now. But like the track record.
Why would you pick him at 55 if you could just sign him undrafted?
That too. But you also want to please your guy because you want
to call his name. You want to
call his name, have him have his moment.
You want the vanity moment of it to say,
put the Lakers hat on him.
Is LeBron going to go to day 2 of the draft? And
hell yeah, he'll be there.
Oh, the script is already written, guys. We already know this is the first time they're doing 2-day draft and they're broadcasting it.
Hey, because it's going to be like, okay, yeah, he got the call. And they're going to make it it's going to be the most lit second round draft ever, bro.
Jokic got drafted during a Taco Bell commercial, but we're going to roll out the red carpet for Bronny James in the second round.
Hey, but that's going to be the conversation. That's the pep talk. Now, Bronny, dude. They don't respect you right now, but one of the best bigs of all time. Jokic. Like he was a second round pick. Jalen Brunson, he was a second round pick. Draymond, he was a second round pick. Like he gonna be giving him that spiel, that dad spiel, which is pretty cool on a dad side, but from a basketball fan side, the Lakers have no idea. Laker fans have no idea what's about to be. This is going to be a ride.
Yeah, a ride.
And this man gonna be 40. This man about to be 40 with the keys to the crib with no future. He literally handing the bar down to his son.
Trey, is Taco Bell White and Kennedy?
No.
Okay.
We don't do that type of work.
Yo, my question is, if you're White and Kennedy, do you sponsor the number 55 pick? Just
we need a spot during the 55th pick. I don't care what time it airs. We need to be right there.
We need to be right there to get the Jokic. You lean into it. Yo, the Jokic was selected during a Taco Bell commercial. They showed the Taco Bell commercial over the Jokic pick. And then with the 55th pick presented by Taco Bell and their new breakfast tacos.
They're also, this is breaking news, guys, just for exclusive for the Patreon. They're moving Father's Day to the draft date. They're moving it back 10 days so that Bronny can get drafted on Father's Day for LeBron. It's happening.
It's on Father's Day?
No. They're moving it. Father's Day is June 16th. Then we got the draft on June 27th. That'll be day 2. It's perfect. Father's Day part 2.
Oh man! Apparently, Paul Pierce dropped an M-bomb on live TV.
Yeah, he did the Booker T. Oh man.
Yeah. So besides the Bronny stuff, I mean, the Hawks moving up and getting the number 1 pick in this year's draft is a big half-hearted congratulations. But the Pistons can't figure this draft lottery thing out. This is the second year in a row with the worst record. Second year in a row moving down from 1 to 5.
Never happened before. It's never happened, and now it's happened. I don't think it ever happened where number 1 went all the way down to number 5, and then it's happened twice in a row for the Pistons.
What do you do? How do you feel if you're the Pistons organization hearing seeing the results of that?
This one doesn't hurt. This one doesn't hurt because you could get the number 5 guy, could be the number 1.
Sure.
No one knows in what order number 1 through 5 are going to go. So like this one doesn't hurt. Last year hurts. Last year is, and the same thing with the Jazz, the same thing with anybody like the Blazers, of course. Like everyone wanted Wemby. This year, I feel like the Pistons, yes, they've got, if they fell to number 5, but like last year's the one that hurts, man. Having it happen twice in the last 2 years, and they don't have like Cade Cunningham, they did get number 1, but is Cade Cunningham on the same level as the typical number 1 pick? I would say no. I would say
you'd rather
Cade
have
Cunningham
Paolo at this point.
Yes. Oh, what? Easily. In my book, easily. So, I just feel like the Pistons were going nowhere fast. As soon as they got Monty Williams up on that contract, after he turned them down, and then they had to go and get on a plane and give him the Godfather offer. For what? This isn't a playoff roster, and then it was a disaster in year 1. The Pistons, I feel bad for them, man. I feel bad.
And the Spurs get 2 cracks at the top 10 to surround Wemby with some talent. See what they do.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they package them into a deal for like Trae Young or something like that. And then you have basically the Atlanta Hawks are basically hitting the
Hawks,
yeah, how about that?
3 times in the top 10. That'd be wild, man.
I mean, the Hawks' new front office, I mean, they might want to press the reset button, like for real, and they could right now. They could hit the reset button and just be like, we're going Cooper Flag 2025, Trae's boy.
I would go Cooper Flag. I would definitely go Cooper Flag.
So the Spurs go, they get those 2 picks. The Hawks go from number 10 to number 1. And that changes a lot for them. So they're going to have lots of decisions to make this offseason. I think Trae Young's gone. I think they move on from Trae Young. They keep DeJounte Murray and they start rebuilding around him. I don't think I think Trae Young's done in Atlanta. Where does he go though? Like, I like the idea of Wemby and Trae Young because Trae Young could actually get him the ball and he'd be really fun next to Wemby. I don't think the Spurs are going to acquire him.
Yeah, I don't know if they want that type of caliber player, but also like, as crazy as it sounds, like who do you even pair with him? They have if they were to like get rid of their, they need a veteran point guard or whatever. Like, where do you go from there? Like, who do you bring in? Who's your ideal target? And nobody had that answer because I was like, well, I'm looking down the line and you give up quote unquote 2 major picks for a guard that season. I would go get LaMelo Ball.
Interesting.
Because you still get youth and you get somebody that actually likes to pass. And they're going to sell a lot of fucking tickets. If you get him to San Antonio, he's going to turn San Antonio up. But you give Charlotte back that youth to get a chance to, get even more younger.
I'll throw another name. Tyrese Halliburton.
They not letting him go.
Just saying. Who would be an ideal candidate to play next to Victor Wembanyama? Yeah. Tyrese Halliburton fits what you want. You don't need him to be a great defender. He's a great passer. He can shoot. He's long. I feel like that would be an ideal fit. Problem is he's already claimed. He's spoken for in Indiana. LaMelo Ball in San Antonio is interesting because the medical staff has to sign off on that. The medical staff acquiring a guy who's had foot problems, ankle problems, who can't stay healthy the last 2 years. Would you gamble, depending on the price tag, would you gamble on LaMelo? And I think for the Charlotte Hornets, they're looking to put their stamp of approval on this franchise. So if you're the Charlotte Hornets, you have the new ownership, you have the new GM, you're going to have a new head coach in Charles Lee. Do you break it down to the studs and you move LaMelo Ball? I just don't see Pop. Maybe they sign off on that, but that would be fun as hell. LaMelo and Wemby.
It would be fun. Together. That's what I'm saying. I'm selling the fun because I trust him to get the ball And we also are waiting on LaMelo to grow up. But also, I don't want to be that guy to tell him to grow up, but I think that Pop will be helpful for his career too, because he's still, the NBA with the camera on you expects you to be more mature than what you are. And he's a vet in the Hornets organization at 22, 23 years old. If he's that, he might be 22.
He's still that young, dude. But
having Miles Bridges,
he's 22, turning 23 in August.
It's time to reset.
He's fourth year in the league, man. Fourth year in the league, and he's 22 still.
And I feel like Wemby's his own person, so he don't have to work. He don't have to lean on anybody. I think he's a natural leader, but he needs somebody to really get him the ball. And I think Melo Ball can get him the ball in a fun way.
All right, so number one in assists per minute in the NBA, Tyrese Halliburton. Number two. How about this? Number one, Tyrese Halliburton. Number three is Trae Young. Okay. Who's number two? And we're going to leave on this one.
Jokic.
TJ McConnell.
Oh, my God. Nick Van Exel and TJ McConnell. That's the podcast today, boys.
I like it, bro. I like it.
TJ and Pop and Wemby. I'm just saying. Yeah. I'm just saying.
Bring white point guards back. Yeah. The Bobby Hurleys of the world.
The great white hope. Let's go.
You know what I'm saying? We get a point guard with a little hair on his chest, man. Little hairy legs, man. Little grit. He can run that system, bro. And he don't throw lobs.
He only played for 2 teams in his career. I feel like he's been more bouncing around the league, but it's only been Philly and Indiana. How about that?
Yeah. No, he's a longevity coacher guy. That's the thing. He's a guy that's why the Pacers did not want to let him go. Because he's a guy that, like, when you draft somebody new, remember how Luke Walton used to teach guys the triangle when they would come to the Lakers? That's TJ McConnell.
He's the UD. Haslam, and he's kind of like the starter kit. Like, hey.
He's going to be a front office guy when he's done. And he's going to have glorious stories because you can't really shit on him. Because you're going to be like, that guy played 14 years in the league and he was a part of that team. And that's where y'all want to be. TJ McConnell.
TJ McConnell's scoring average per year. Here we go. 6.1, 6.9, 6.3, 6.4, 6.5, 8.6, 8.5, 8.7. And this year, he's peaking, boys. 10.2.
Prime TJ.
Pay the man.
Get him to San Antonio.
He aging like wine, baby.
Get him to every team. It sounds like he'll fix everybody's problems. TJ McConnell.
The Indiana Pacers are going to the Eastern Conference Finals, baby.
Because of
TJ
McConnell. Get on the TJ McConnell train.
People all over the world, join hands. McConnell train. McConnell train.
Victor Wembanyama intrigued by idea of playing with Trae Young.